All right, guys, we're back here on Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel. It's another holiday week here at the office, Max Barr. Sam Smith says he's surprised we're working this week. Sam, we worked last week too, pal. Come on. It's conference play. It has arrived in SEC basketball. And got a big week of bowl games coming up also. So a lot of people working this week at Southeastern 16, Sam Smith, including our fine members who we always appreciate here, our supporters, MVPs, legends. Hope you guys had a great Christmas. Hope the holiday season going well. And we are going to get into thoughts and perhaps some predictions, Max, for the start of conference play on Saturday. Quickly, I know there are a bunch of games tonight, but let us just tell you up front, we will not be previewing all those games because pretty much all of them are 20-plus, 30-plus, even 40-plus point spreads for some of these games. We will go through the schedule at the end of the show and just give you a rundown of the games that are being played tonight. But beyond that, Max, not a lot to discuss other than looking at some predictions, a little preview for conference play getting started on Saturday, and we're going to revisit some of our predictions from the summer and see how off we were for some of those.
This is going to be a fun one, folks. This is going to be a fun one. Blake and I did bold predictions on July 15th. And we're going to revisit some of those, see what we got wrong, what we got right, if anything right, or if anything wrong. Maybe we were geniuses. But Blake, this is the best time of the college basketball season. It's right when you start to, all the noise starts to get a little bit amplified when it comes to, just like the casual viewer checking on in for the first time this season. Football's coming to sort of an end. I know we're still humming with football, but this is right around that time where you start to get a few more friends and family start to watch the game and are starting to talk to you, with a few more coworkers saying, hey, did you watch the game last night? It's all about to start, not tonight, because boy, do we have about 10, 40-point spreads, but we are just 1 week away from this thing really taking off. Let's go. I'm fired up. Come on.
All right, so we did make an audible. We were going to do power rankings, but then Max reminded me, you know what? There weren't a lot of games played last week, except for that Monday and Tuesday. There were a couple games played, but really, that was it. And so we decided to, even though we did poll our members, we appreciate you guys sending in your rankings, but we just kind of said, well, they're basically the same as last week. I think there was only one team that moved in my rankings, and that was not in a good way, and that was Missouri after the loss to Illinois. So we decided just to scrap the rankings, said let's just do kind of an early look at conference play getting started on Saturday and all that. Speaking of getting started, Justin, going to ring in the new year, a new baby on the way. Shout out to Justin. Congratulations on that. Going to be fantastic.
Nice.
An MVP already here at Southeastern 16. The new baby for Justin and company. So congrats on that. So Big Baller Brett upset about Yale getting 19 days off before the Alabama game tonight. It's the Ivy League, Brett. They need more time to prepare for these exams. They're tougher. It just means more for the Ivy League. But
at that point,
Sam,
19 days off is not helpful anymore. Now you're rusty. 19 days off is ridiculous.
That is the closest spread on the board. It's going to be 16.5 in favor of Alabama. Yale's a pretty good team. We don't need to bring up Yale to another team in the state of Alabama, but yes, we'll get into that. All right, let's talk about Max conference play. Does get started on Saturday, and it's quite a slate to begin. You've got Alabama hosting Kentucky, Georgia hosts Auburn, South Carolina trying to knock off Vanderbilt, Arkansas and Tennessee, the most probably marquee matchup in terms of your top 20 teams, although Alabama and Kentucky's right there. The Cats are looking more like what we thought they would the last couple games. Oklahoma against Ole Miss. You got LSU at A&M, Mississippi State at Texas, and then Florida at Missouri. But let's travel back to the summer.
Yes.
All right, because I know you wanted to have some fun with this. Our predictions, we had bowl predictions during the summer. We had all kinds of fun things we were kind of prognosticating. So, to this point in the season, Max, how have things looked with those predictions? What did we get right? What did we get wrong? All this kind of stuff.
So I did 5 bold predictions. You did 4 bold predictions, and some of them we look like geniuses. Some of them I don't want to say, but that's the nature of doing bold predictions on July 15th.
Yeah.
Gonna get some right, gonna get some wrong. I'll start with one of ours. I'll do one of each of us that were just makes us look fantastic. Makes us look fantastic. Blake's number 1 bold prediction. Vanderbilt will finish top 5 in the SEC.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
It looks good so far. Looks good so far.
Listen, so you guys saw the awards thing we did on Friday, and we were debating in the first team all SEC and different awards and all that. My basket and review column did post this morning. Max, I did a total cop out on first team all SEC. I went with 7, and I said, here's the thing. I'm going to go with the 7 we debated. I know. Shake your head at me. I know. I'm a coward. Total coward here. But I said I can't leave the 2 Vanderbilt guys off. I couldn't leave Hall off, and I wanted to get Tommy H in there too. So I'm like, just give me the 7. It's not an official award, all that. We saw plenty of responses to our debate on Friday, and we appreciate that. But I also went through a bunch of other superlatives, and let me just find the list here, and I'm kind of spoiling it, but I don't care. Like, I'm going to give you what else Vanderbilt won from the superlatives for non-conference. Best team, best coach, most improved team, best NCAA tournament resume. Like, those were the ones that I handed out, and Vanderbilt won all those. So that's to this point. Will they finish in the top 5? Don't know, but trending in the right direction. And if you want to look at the updated conference winner odds over at FanDuel, Vanderbilt plus 280 at the top, Alabama plus 340, Florida plus 380. Then you've got a bit of a divide with Tennessee, Kentucky. Thank goodness the Hogs are making some moves there, plus 1,000. But, yeah, so far, so good on the Commodores, and we'll see how it goes from here.
I will back you up. I watched our whole video from the summer from July 15th. One thing you did mention, and a reason why it was, a bold prediction, was on July 15th, Vanderbilt's odds to win it was either the national championship or the SEC championship were second to last in the league. Mm-hmm. They had the second to worst odds. So you're being projected as 15 out of 16 predicting top 5. Hey, not a bad bold prediction. I think my probably top one would be Trayvon Brazile has an all SEC season like we expected 2 years ago. And man, has he slightly inconsistent against the elite competition, but I mean, make no mistake about it, Trayvon Brazile has been outstanding in the non-conference. And I don't know about first team all SEC. Could hear an argument, but right behind there. I mean, second, third, all SEC honors, right? And so that was probably my most on the spot one. But I also had Mississippi State misses the tournament for the first time under Jans, and that one got a lot of pushback because I love my Mississippi State fans, and I love my Mississippi State bully ball the years past, so that got a lot of pushback. And Jans had made the tournament every year, but those two were probably my best two. I got some that didn't look so good either.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think with Brazile, he'd be on a team, right? If you did a first team, second team, third team, he'd be on one of them. Probably not first team, but the inconsistency would hold him back there, and just the competition, like we said. I mean, we were debating all these names on Friday. I thought there was a clear top 7, but you even mentioned like you could put one of the Georgia players on there as of right now. You could put Dean Thomas from LSU. There are other options too. So. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of, there's limited spots, but he would be somewhere. And then, yeah, I mean, I think for Mississippi State, oh, man, they're playing better. I think we got to give them that. And, they at least built up some momentum. They seem to be figuring some things out. But, they've also got kind of an interesting start to SEC play, if we want to kind of tie that in. They're at Texas, home against Oklahoma, at Kentucky. Then they're home against Alabama and Ole Miss. So like that's an interesting 5-game stretch there to where like if they can somehow go like 3-2, that's pretty good because I'm looking at the rest of their schedule and obviously there's some tough games, but I don't know. I mean, let's see, they only play Kentucky once, they only play Arkansas once, they only play Tennessee once, they only play Vanderbilt once. So like, there's room to maneuver their way up, but they've just got to be more consistent. And yeah, their NCAA tournament resume right now, I don't know where they're at in the net. I think the last time we checked, they were in the 100 somewhere. Let me just find it real quick. They are 123. So yeah, I mean they got a lot of work to do, but yeah.
There's room. There's room. There's a path. There's a path. Okay, so yeah, those were probably my two best hits. Another one I had in the show that looks decent is Auburn does not earn a top 4 seed line in March. I said they will not be a 1, 2, 3, or 4. I said somewhere between 30 and 40th in KenPom. That one might be one of my better ones, not gonna lie.
I think what's going to help them when it comes to their tournament. Well, I mean, like we said, we don't know what they're going to finish in SEC play. KenPom's got them going 9-9. I don't know, that seems a little low, but they do have a tough schedule. I think based on looking at some of just with the fact they're going to play Alabama twice, they got to play Arkansas twice. So those kind of things like that. But I think their strength of schedule is going to help them.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Right now they're 42 in the nets. They've got 1 quad 1 win. They got the 4 quad 1 losses, which again, those don't really hurt you that much, except for it hurts them a little bit just because of the margin of loss there. Because we know that factors into the analytics and everything. But they have 2 wins in quad 2, so they've got 3 combined there. I think that's third in the SEC, tied for third in the SEC. And they're quad 1 plus quad 2 right now. So, yeah, I think Auburn, to get to a top 4 seed, what would they be projected right now, Max? Probably, what were they in the last one? I don't remember.
Well, it's a little bit different wherever you look because Evan Mia really likes them, has them as a 3 to 5 seed, but Torvik has them as an 8 seed. So it's kind of just whatever analytics you look at.
They were 7 on the bracketology last time we did that. So
7 on.
Yeah, so I'd say somewhere in there. But getting a top 4 will probably take. I mean, they're gonna have to finish in the top tier in the SEC. But they're another one. Look at the start to their season, Max.
I know.
I think this is a team really. If I had to circle 1 or 2, Auburn's the team to keep an eye on because we should not look up and be shocked if, let's say, Auburn started 5-0 in SEC play, maybe 6-0. Now, the defensive inconsistency may hurt a little bit there. They're at Georgia in game 1. That's a tough start because Georgia's just been an offensive juggernaut, so you want to see some of those defensive numbers get better. But then they're home against A&M, home against Arkansas, at Missouri, which Missouri's struggling, home against South Carolina, at Ole Miss. That's their first 6 games. Things pick up from there. Then they got road games at Florida, Tennessee, home against Alabama, home against Vanderbilt, at Arkansas. The middle stretch is tough, but don't be surprised if we look up and Auburn starts to make a rise. But a lot of that, I think, is dependent on their performance on Saturday against Georgia because, we could say the same about the Bulldogs based on kind of seeing where they're at, because their non-conference schedule has left a bit to be desired.
When we were looking at this first opening Saturday of SEC play a few months ago, we were like, okay, there's some big-time games. I don't think Georgia-Auburn was on the top 2 of our list, but holy smokes, does that carry a lot of importance now. I mean, that is a huge game. It's a Georgia test, the poor strength of schedule in the non-conference, and like you said, if Auburn is able to go on the road and get that one, kind of sets up real nice for them the rest of January. That is a huge game.
That's for sure.
You had one, actually, that might be genius. I actually should have said as your best one. The SEC gets 10 teams into the tournament. And now this was one where my reaction, I had the physical reaction on the video because I was like, what? Only 10 teams? You're not even just like 12, 10? But man, right on so far.
I think I may be too high. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I may have been too high on it. What's Torvik got as the percentages right now on how many teams get in?
9 has a 41.5% chance. 10 has a 19.3% chance. And on the other side, 8 has a 28% chance. So about a little bit more likely that there's 8 than there's 10, but it's looking like 9 is going to be is the favorite right now.
Yeah, I think 9's probably the number I would settle at now. But like we said, I think there are two teams in particular. A lot of that could come down to, and that's Georgia and LSU for me, because they're both 11-1 right now, but they need more meat on the bone in terms of their resume. So I think that's going to be interesting to see. And then you're going to see if one of those teams like A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri's got a long way to go right now. Teams like that, can they get back into that tier? These are just teams that just need more on their resume. That's really what it comes down to. And you'll get plenty of opportunities in SEC play to do that, but right now I think 9 is the most likely number.
I do have a bold prediction on the amount of teams into the tournament that we will get to in a little bit that
all right
may not be 9.
All right.
That.
All right. Quickly, let me just address this question. Chris is asking, will you guys do a stream for members on opening night of conference play? We'll have our usual on Saturday. I mean, look, we'll have multiple live streams on Saturday like we always do during conference play. So we'll update the schedule for you guys. And yeah, we'll probably do some member stuff. There may be a members only one in there or something like that. We'll figure it out, but it's no different than last year. So yeah.
Yep. Okay, now you guys might be able to get on us a little bit here. Here are some swings and misses.
Oh boy. Yikes.
From July 15th. Here are some swings and misses. Here we go. Here's one I'll do one from me and then one from you, Blake, and we can laugh about it. And then there's also another one. Okay. Trent Burns unlocks Missouri's defense and the Tigers shock the league. Trent Burns has barely played, barely touched the floor. Not really much of an unlocking or a shocking going on there. So that one, not even playing really. So that one is brutal for me. I thought the 7'5", you heard about him, maybe he comes in and he's, at a Mara, but a little bit more athletic or something. Not even close. Swing and a miss there. And then Blake, one swing and a miss for you.
Hold on. There are 3 players I remember talking up. It was Darian Reed, T.O. Barrett, and who was the other person I was talking up? There was somebody else I remember talking up, but I don't remember what I said about him.
Somebody else was
Carter Knox, probably.
Yes, it was Carter Knox wins SEC Player of the Year.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's not like he's just been terrible.
No,
he's got a bunch of good players on his team, so I blame the system for that. I don't blame my prediction. I blame the system.
So yeah, that was probably our worst swing and a miss, but you could put this one in there as well. Like another one from you, Darian Reed, first team All SEC.
You can tell I was really trying to go bold here. I was trying to just come up with.
We're bold. They were bold.
I was doing my best to be bold. Okay, I was trying to live up to the actual name of the show. And yes, he hasn't quite hit that.
Yes. But he has been playing better.
He's been playing better. It's still possible. Like let's not count this one out just yet. Nope. All right?
No.
It's still possible. I'm not going to count this one out. I think Carter Knox winning SEC Player of the Year, I can go ahead and count out. But Darian Reed, I'm not counting him out just yet as a possibility. So.
Yeah, so those were our main hits and misses. And then I had one more that has not been able to be decided. It was an SEC league play prediction. I said Florida is only going to lose 2 SEC games in league play, and they might flirt with undefeated.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
that doesn't look too good right now, but they haven't played an SEC game yet, so you can loop that one in there as well. But hey, those were all pretty bold. We hit some, we missed some, but if that's any indication for how crazy the league has been so far, there's been some unexpected risers and fallers. I mean, I said Mississippi State will miss the tournament for the first time under Chris Jans. I didn't expect this. I thought it was going to be maybe just on the outside. Not what did you say the resume was? 120
something. Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing, right? Like, we were hyping up Vanderbilt during the summer, but like, could I have told you they were going to be sitting here at, as the betting favorite to win the league, 6 in the net, have just absolutely dominant performances almost across the board? No, I wouldn't have went that far. Like, there's no way I would have went that far. I would have thought they'd be a brew, but I can't say that I thought they'd be sitting here with the analytics just absolutely drooling over them at the moment. But I mean, again, it's just performance-based stuff, and that's why we keep saying it's hard to knock the performances. On that, I know Elijah brought up earlier. Says Vandy being first in the odds is insane to me. They haven't played a top 30 KenPom team through the entire non-conference. Not saying they're going to finish bottom half, but win it? No way. Well, that's where, again, I mean, I think that's where we have to be careful with like our wording on some of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that like to us on the screen here because I keep trying to make it clear, like we're just going off of what we've seen to this point. I'm not projecting Vanderbilt to win the SEC right now. Like, and we may have did this, maybe in the Mother Carroll stream, where she put us on the spot and said, you got to pick one team to win the SEC. I don't think any of us picked Vanderbilt.
No, I picked Florida.
I think I may have picked Alabama. I can't remember. You can go back and watch it on the channel if you're a MVP or legend. But so I just I think that's the thing is I love what they've done at this point, but I also know like there is going to be an inevitable lull, which pretty much every team hits at some point. But so far, I can't tell you that because I've not seen it except for a bad half against Memphis. So I hadn't seen it. And so that's all I can say to this point is that, we're judging based on performance. And right now I can understand why they are the favorite in every analytical site. They are the betting favorite. All of it makes sense because a lot of that is dependent on what you've seen. And what we've seen is they have been the best team in the SEC performance-wise to this point. So I understand it. But you're right, Elijah. I mean, here's the thing, right? There's no way I'd bet on it because I'd realize that I am getting just absolutely terrible odds based on what I could have gotten a month ago. So like I've mentioned, I'd be way more, if I had to make one bet, here you go, Max, let's play this game at FanDuel. If you had to make one bet right now on the SEC conference winner, I'm going to give you these real quick, and then you're going to tell me which one. Vanderbilt plus 280, Alabama plus 340, Florida plus 380, Tennessee plus 750, Kentucky plus 800, or Arkansas plus 1,000. Which one are you betting on?
I mean, just based on, the plus 1,000 there. I mean, those teams they haven't separated too much from each other, but that's a massive difference in price.
See, I'm like, okay, what do I think gives me the best value? Is it you just go for the long shot? And again, of that group, Arkansas was just the team that was number one in our rankings a couple weeks ago. That's an incredible number to get for Arkansas right now because I feel like that's only going to go up. Whereas if you think Florida's going to be okay, do you go ahead and get the plus 380 now, knowing that it's probably going to go up too? And so, you just have to, again, I probably wouldn't touch Vanderbilt at that number because I'm going to feel like I'm getting way less return on investment had I made that bet a while back. But now I'm like, Kentucky and Arkansas are very interesting because they're much further back from where they may have felt like they should have been. So, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So,
one interesting thing about Vandy, looking at their schedule, in the past month, the past 6 games, they've only played one team that's not in the top 70.
Yeah.
And only one of those 5 top 70 teams was at home. 2 of them were on a neutral. 2 of them were away. The only one they got home was SMU, and they won by 20. So it was like, maybe. I mean, you do have they haven't played a top 30 team. I think I've seen that 450,000 times when talking about Vandy. They haven't played a top 30 team, but they've done everything else. And while they do have one bad half against Memphis, so does every single other team in the league have a bad half or a bad game. Maybe they didn't play the elite competition of Arkansas, but they also didn't escape by 1 point against Winthrop and 4 points against Sanford. They crushed those teams that they were supposed to crush. So it's like, can kind of lean into whatever little area of the argument you want.
Well, and here's the argument I can't support on this one, Word Up Ninja. Like, okay, all right. You clarified it. I'll take that back. Like, but still, I want to just make it clear. Like, we say like soft or softish type schedule. They've played the 5th or 6th best schedule in the SEC to this point. So like, it's an above average schedule. It's in the overall strength of schedule on KenPom is 76, non-conference is 87. Like, that's above average.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just not. But again, it's dependent on how you want to. Like you said, it's just they've not played the top teams. So you can say that it's kind of more of that in between, and I get it, understand the argument. So, all right, quickly, how about the Yearly Company? How about our friends of the Yearly Company? Nashville-based fine jewelry brand, built on tradition, designed for meaning. Oh, I can't even imagine, Max, how many people open up gifts on Christmas with the Yearly Company. I can't even imagine how many. Incredible. Of course, every Yearly Company bangle, custom size, knowing your size, the most important step before you order. And I got a cough, Max. Here it comes.
It's a professional.
I'm back. Professional. So, SC16 kit, you get 100% off that sizing kit over the Yearly Company. Be sure to get that because again, every Yearly Company bangle, custom size. Congratulations to our first ever Yearly Company Bangle Award.
Yes.
On Friday. We handed that out, so check that out. But, yes, we appreciate our friends over there, fine friends over at the Yearly Company. SC16 kit, 100% off the sizing kit at checkout. And ROKFORM, ROKFORM.com, the world's strongest magnetic phone case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock, secure mounting. Our first ever Rock Lock Award also handed out on Friday. Check that out if you haven't already. Tommy H. Getting a little love from me. I've been hearing people talking about Tommy H being inconsistent. Get out of here. Tommy H. You kidding me? It's Tom. What are we talking about here? I'll tell you what we're talking about. We're talking about ROKFORM. SEC25 is the code. SEC25, 25% off over at ROKFORM.com. All right. Here we go. What's next?
I've got some predictions. I've got some more if you'd like to hear them.
You got more? All right, hold on. Chris, a valuable member of our team here. Chris says, I'm not trying to hate. I love what Vandy's doing. I'm curious, Blake, what you think if Vandy played Florida's non-conference schedule. Would you have the same feeling about them? I hate playing this game, Chris. You know me. I don't know because everyone can try to tell me that they would lose some of these games, but I can't tell you that because I haven't seen the game, right? So I don't want to. The hypothetical game to me is like, what are we doing? Like, why are we playing that game? I don't know. Like, we can say they wouldn't win those games, but how do we know that? KenPom has this team going 26-5. Like, 26-5. I mean, I'm not saying KenPom's the end-all be-all, but I think it's one of those where, like, I can't with confidence sit back and say that Vanderbilt would have lost by any more than Florida did, or maybe find a way to win one of those games. I don't know. Like, everyone I know will say, "Oh, of course they'd lose all those," but I don't know. So
I mean, they probably would. I mean,
yeah, I just don't know. Like, it's
put any SEC team on a neutral against Arizona to start the year, make them go play at Cameron, and then make them go play at MSG against UConn. Pretty much every single SEC team's going 0-3. And if they don't go 0-3, the game they won was an upset that they were not favored to win in. I mean, every single team in the league would be an underdog in all 3 of those games.
Yeah. I don't know. And look, I mean, Elijah's like, hey, it's Vandy 1,000% loses at Arizona, at Duke,
So does
UConn, and
everybody else,
MSG.
probably.
Who in the SEC doesn't? I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like, if you are going based on what we've seen to this point, okay, who are the teams we're talking about here? Arizona, Duke, UConn.
Duke and UConn.
All right, Arizona's 2 in Ken Palm. Duke is 6. UConn is 7. Vanderbilt's 8. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like I just yeah. I mean, I don't know. So
if we had to do a prediction for all 3 of those games, I'm probably not picking Vanderbilt to win in any of those games.
No, we would definitely pick on. I mean, we'd pick the other teams in all those games.
Yeah.
I think the team they would struggle the most against would be Arizona. But I also could not sit here and tell you that I think they would just get blown out by Duke or UConn. I don't think they would. I just don't. But we'll see. Maybe they'll play in the tournament. I don't know. We'll find out. All right. Yeah. So, anyways, I know we talked a lot about Vanderbilt the past couple weeks, but again, I just want to. I don't know what they're going to do in SEC play. I have no idea, but we try to just go with what we see here, and I'm not going to sit here and act like they haven't been good. they've been tremendous to this point. So.
Well, one of my extra, I have 4 bold predictions on, and one of them has Vanderbilt in it. One of my predictions is that Tyler Tanner gives LeBaron Philon his biggest test for SEC Player of the Year. Now, if you saw my tweet that I put out yesterday, if you didn't, go ahead and check it out. It's just the one right before this live stream. I put out a graph on, you know what, and maybe I'll try to pull it up. I made a graph in Bart Torvik about the box plus minus and usage and trying to kind of map out efficiencies through non-conference play. It might be really hard to read because it's a lot of data. So this might be a little bit tough to read, but you can get a feel for where people are at efficiency wise with how much teams are using them. So you can see, like, for example, the top 3 highest usage guys in the league are all the way to your right: LeBaron Philon, Josh Hubbard, and Malik Dia, all at 3 very different levels of efficiency for what they're bringing to their team. And now, like Blake said in our awards, Blue Kane, Jeremiah Wilkinson cannot be denied right now for the play that they have, what they have done. But look it up there at the very, very tippy top of box plus minus, the most efficient player in the SEC through 2 months of basketball, regardless of the strength of your opponent, it's adjusted for that, has been Tyler Tanner. And now Frankie Collins, unfortunately, is going to be sidelined with an injury, which, make no mistake about it, is going to impact their play. So that's going to be something that Vandy has to overcome here to start SEC play, but that's also going to mean more opportunity for Tyler Tanner and Duke Miles. So one of my predictions is that Tyler Tanner, if he keeps up this level of efficiency, and then with Frankie Collins out, his usage is increased. I mean, my gosh, this is going to be one of the best players in the country.
Yeah, I mean, his numbers have been, like you said, pretty stellar. So I just, yeah. It's wild. By the way, I didn't realize one of Frankie Collins's comps is Lamont Butler from last year.
Oh,
so that's interesting. So, very interesting. But yeah. So we'll see how they do long term without him. But yeah, Tyler Tanner, easily a first team All SEC guy right now, I think. All right, what else you got on your predictions?
All right, I've got the Vols of Tennessee. This is a bold one, guys. These are bold predictions. The Vols go undefeated at home. They do not drop a game at home. The Vols. If you look at how the schedule sets up, Blake, they do have some testers, okay? But just listen to all these home games. I'm just going to list them off in order. Texas, A&M, Kentucky, Auburn, Ole Miss, LSU, Oklahoma, and then Alabama and Vanderbilt to finish off the year. That's not too many of the teams rated in the top half of our power rankings. You do have Kentucky. You do have Alabama and Vanderbilt. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, remember, if you go back the past, I mean, Kentucky's been the only team that's beaten them the past couple years at home. South Carolina did that just weird, ugly, like, game that was 2 seasons ago, right? That was a South Carolina team. But yeah, like, Kentucky has really been the team the past 3 seasons, I guess. Now they beat them 3 years in a row in Knoxville. Is that right? Missouri beat them on the buzzer beater several years ago, but Tennessee at home usually is a pretty good rock clock. And then, of course, they went undefeated the year prior at home, I think. So Tennessee's been a bit of a rock lock at home. So I like that one. I think that one is your best chance, possibly. Although the Tyler Tanner one, I think, is probably pretty good shape too. But only if Vanderbilt doesn't fall off.
I went through all like the top teams in our power rankings, and went through their home schedules. And I think Tennessee's sets up the nicest to the point where it's like, if you get past Kentucky at home and you get past like Auburn at home, then it turns into the last 2 home games of the season, Alabama and Vanderbilt. Those are both the projected 4 points and 1 point. So those will both be really tough, but I think they got a good shot at getting there. If they just get past Jaden Quayens and company. I only got one more if you want to, and this is where this might be the boldest of the bunch. Oh no. Okay. Hey, you guys, I want the league to do well, guys. Okay. I want the league to do well. Right now, Bart Torvik puts the chance of 11 teams in the tournament at 3.3%. Somehow, some way, we find a way and we get it done. 11 teams into the tournament. Okay, now just hear me out. Vanderbilt, Alabama, Tennessee. There's 3. Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky. There's 6. Georgia and Auburn. There's 8. And between LSU, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and Missouri, out of those 5, we need 3. I don't think that is the most outlandish claim in the world. I think Texas A&M's resume really doesn't help them. I know they don't have anything going for them really right now. On Evan Mia's resume rankings right now, A&M is 82nd. But if you look at LSU, they're 28th in Mia's resume rankings. I think LSU's got the path to get in there. Georgia is 35th. Oklahoma's 48th. That's all right there if you just put together a decent conference slate. What it's going to come down to, Blake, these 2 teams, Missouri and Texas. Can the Tigers and the Longhorns put together enough quality wins, snag a game or 2 on the road, and get 11 in? I'm going to say somehow they get it done, and the SEC gets 11 teams in. I'm going with 11 now.
All right. I think those teams are going to beat up on each other and knock each other out. Is what I think is going to happen.
Or knock each other in. Glass half full.
Maybe. You are the more optimistic of the bunch here. So
pick up a road win over here. We'll give you a road win over here, and we can all give each other quad 1 wins on the road.
Well, but I mean, at the same time, like, let's be honest. The top of this conference, as we said, we have more questions about the top teams this year easily than we did last year.
Of course.
So would it surprise us if any of these top teams were to slip up and lose road games? Get upset at home. Like, it's going to happen. So, yeah, David, this I think is a good point, and we brought this up a couple of times. Like, don't think this year going 6-12 is getting you in. You're going to be nowhere near the NCAA tournament if you go 6-12 this year. Even 8-10, I think this year is going to be very dicey. It's going to really depend on who those wins and losses are against. Whereas the past 2 or 3 seasons, we just kind of said, all right, you go 8-10, you're probably going to be fine. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I think you have to at least be aiming for 9-9 to feel good, But even at 9-9, for some of these teams, still may not be enough. And I know that sounds crazy, but I just think you've got some pretty lackluster resumes. So no guarantees at 9-9, I think, to be honest with you. Depends on who it is.
Right now, Evan Mia has 9 teams in the field for the SEC, with Oklahoma at just outside, and then Missouri and Texas both with a label of some work to do. I think it comes down to those 3: Oklahoma, Missouri, and Texas. I really think Texas A&M, unless Texas A&M just puts together a heck of an SEC season, going in with only one top 100 win is not gonna. It's just not enough weight right now. But like Texas doesn't have some bad analytics. Still are holding on to the Longhorns, Blake. They're still holding on. And Missouri, hopefully it's like Jaden Stone was out, Trent Pierce was out. We're going to minimize the losses without the health, and then these guys come back and Missouri's picking up some big wins. I don't know. Give me 11. Give me 11.
All right. So I'm gonna give you a funny bowl prediction. Probably not funny. My bowl prediction is that Otega Owe wins SEC Player of the Year. But I mean, you really think about it though, right? Like, think about how expectations have sort of changed from this summer to like where they are now. You wouldn't consider him one of the favorites by any means. Would you put him in the top 10 right now?
No.
So it's kind of bold. Maybe I'm just sticking with that one because I want to be stubborn since I picked him in the summer. But yeah, you're better at these bowl predictions than I am. Because like one of mine was going to be like, I don't think Florida winning the SEC is bold by any means, but I'm like, I'm talking myself in more to Florida. And I know this is kind of a preview / prediction. Like, I am talking myself into picking Florida to win the league more now.
Are you coming around?
I am. Like, I worry a bit about the guard play. I'm not going to lie, and the consistency there. And they just can't shoot the ball at all. And that worries me. But I don't know. There's something about, I think, just the structure of this team. And when you look at, and I say front court, like we're including Tommy H in there at the 3, but I still think, man, that group right there is going to be good enough to win them a lot of games. So I don't know. I picked Alabama last week. Today I may pick Florida. I got to cover all my bases here. On Friday I may pick Vanderbilt. Tennessee the next day. We'll see.
Well, I'll tell you what. Tennessee has been getting a lot of praise from me for being the number 1 offensive rebounding team in the nation. I think Florida's going to catch them and pass them. You might maybe throw a bold prediction there as well. Florida is going to be the number 1 offensive rebounding team in the country by year's end. The consistency that they play with in terms of their identity and what you can lean on with the rebounding and what they do around the rim, that front court rotation, that is a level of consistency that I don't think any other team in the SEC has. That high of a ceiling, that high of front court play every single game. Yeah, Estrella, Brown, Carey, and Akpara are right there. And we had our debates about best SEC front court in the summer a lot, and it was always Tennessee was right there. I'm still going to take Florida's front court over Tennessee's. But I think I'm just like you, buying more and more and more into Florida. And when you look at the way that this schedule sets up, I think they could maybe win the league by margin, just because not being better a team than, Kentucky or Arkansas or Alabama or Tennessee by margin. Just the record will be a few games above. The schedule just sets up beautifully.
You guys are having fun with me in the Florida. That's not a bowl prediction, okay? I'm just kind of giving you some. Max is way better at the bowl prediction part of this. I'm just kind of throwing out some ideas and predictions because we are calling this a preview. I will give you one I think that may be a little bold. It's going to be Auburn finishing in the top 3 in the SEC.
Say that again?
Auburn in the top 3 in the SEC.
What? That is bold. That is bold.
If you need one that's bold, I'll go with that because it goes back to the scheduling thing we talked about a minute ago. I think they've got a great chance to start I mean, if they were to go on the road and win at Georgia on Saturday, I think they got a chance to have a great start.
Yes.
And when I look at the rest of their schedule, they get Vanderbilt at home, they get Kentucky at home, even games like old LSU. Don't be surprised.
I did the Auburn season preview with the War Report and Ike Jones over the Christmas week, and we go through Auburn's schedule and we pick every game. And the schedule from January 31st to February 14th, it's a 4-game slate. Saturday, January 31st to Saturday, February 14th. It's Tennessee on the road, and then it's Alabama and Vanderbilt at home, and then Arkansas on the road.
Yeah.
That's going to define the entire season for Auburn basketball this year. It's going to be that 4-game stretch. Do you come out of that 2-2, and you picked up maybe one huge quad 1A road win, and you grabbed a home game against Alabama and Vanderbilt, and you're coming out 2-2, 3-1, and we're feeling amazing? Or is it 1-3, and it's like, okay, you just had 4 big opportunities, and you missed on 3 of them? That 4-game stretch can be huge for Auburn.
Yeah, like Georgia come out and score 100 on Saturday. I may backtrack a little bit on that one, but we'll see. I mean, I don't think it's that bold. I know people are saying it. It's really not, because Tennessee right now would be projected to finish 3rd in the SEC at 11-7. Auburn 9-9. So you're talking about a 2-game swing. I mean, it's not a huge swing. So yeah, I don't really have anything else good. Yours are always good, Max. You got good predictions. You do your research. Meanwhile, I'm over here dealing with technical issues this morning. So, yeah.
Hey, you try to get a prediction in on all as many teams as you can, but hey, we do what we can.
Justin asked, do you change your SEC conference schedule ranking since the summer after seeing? Probably, but I mean, I don't have all the ones in front of me that I think that we could just go through easily right now, but we could talk about it this week. Maybe throw that into the mailbag. When we do our members
I remember
mailbag.
we were circling Texas as a team that just sets up just tough. I mean, look at the start of their first 3 games, or first 4 games. They do get home against Mississippi State, but then they got to go at Tennessee, at Alabama.
Yeah, not easy. That's why I said, like, the NCAA tournament teams, dude, they could be, I'm not going to say eliminated, but if they get off to a struggle with that kind of schedule, like, they may not have the chance to make up for it later in the slate. I don't know.
Yeah, Texas's first 4 road games in SEC play are at Tennessee, at Alabama, at Kentucky, at Auburn. That is as hard as the first 4 road games as it gets. Jays. Or Longhorn.
Right. Word Up Ninja asked, who's the SEC sleeper? Well, can't pick Vanderbilt anymore.
Sooners. Oklahoma. I was very high on Oklahoma in the offseason. I said 58th preseason KenPom ranking. You're saying there's 57 better teams than this? No way. I feel like they're more like 30th, 25th. Well, right now they're 50th. So they haven't really had the rocket ship up to 25 or 30, but they've dealt with some injuries. Dayton Forsythe's hurt right now. They got back Jaden Jones. They got back Jeff Nwankwo. You're adding in some international mid-season guy that I don't agree with, but he's getting added to the team. Xavier Brown was going through a big slump. I think Oklahoma could be a team that, I don't know, 50th in KenPom right now. I think they could finish more like 35th, 30, jump up, 15, 20 spots over the SEC season. I'm still going with my Sooners.
Yeah, I'll pick Oklahoma too, because I look at their schedule, and here's their start. Home against Ole Miss, at Mississippi State, at A&M, home against Florida, home against Alabama, at South Carolina, at Missouri. 4, I'd say 5 of probably our bottom 6 in the SEC right now in power rankings are all in there. And then you've got 2 home games against Florida and Alabama. So Oklahoma's another team. I think don't be surprised if they get off to a really good start. So Schedule sets up. What?
I said you are just you're getting me going. I'm liking what you're saying about the Sooners.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go Oklahoma too. I think it's a good choice. So
now you're bought into 11 teams.
No, because I would not include some of the ones in there that you did right now. I can't. Like, as of right this second, I don't like Texas's schedule. I don't think Missouri's playing well. I don't know what to make of A&M. I still think Georgia and LSU are by no means locks, even at 11-1, because they still need a little bit more. I think. Would you argue Georgia needs a little bit more than LSU resume-wise at this very second?
Well, Torvik has Georgia at 92% chance and LSU at 64. So,
well, yeah, I guess that's true.
What's Georgia? Their net is really good, isn't it?
That's the thing. Is like Georgia's net is 22. It's because they're winning by as much as they are. But LSU does have a quad one win. I don't know. I think Georgia maybe is a better choice for SEC sleeper potentially.
Ooh.
But I don't know if they're, I don't. How do you define that? Right, they're 11-1 right now, and they've been elevated into that kind of upper tier. So I don't know if they're necessarily a sleeper anymore.
If Georgia does not make the tournament because they lost in overtime on a neutral floor to Clemson, it's going to be me and forget what his name is, but in Silas We Trust from last year, Georgia Hoops bio. You know what I'm talking about. We're going to be having pitchforks. We'll be rioting if this is.
Look, there's a lot of slim margins here, but like you've seen the same thing I have. Like Georgia, if you just go by the projections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like the analytics say they have a chance to go like 8-1 to start SEC play. I don't think it's going to happen, but
I'll say this. I think Georgia might kind of be playing around their analytical ceiling right now. And if I'm wrong on that, I will be gladly wrong. Would love for Georgia to hop up into the top 20, top 15. By all means, go ahead, Mike White and company. Get on up there. But I think like 25th, 20th in the analytics is about the highest Georgia's going to get. I haven't seen it from this team to be like, yep, they are 100% a top 15 team, a top 20 team. I don't agree with these analytics. I think they might be kind of at their ceiling right now. Would be glad if I'm wrong on that.
All right, we'll wrap up with Justin's comment here. How does losing Frankie Collins till mid-February, then him slowly coming back in, impact Vanderbilt's prediction to be favored in every game from here on out? Yeah, I mean, that's going to factor in.
Yeah.
It's got to. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is right? It's like they did just win at Wake Forest by 31 without him. But, I mean, to act like he's not a key piece of this puzzle, I think would be that wouldn't be true. I think he is. So
it's going to hurt the perimeter defense the most. That's where this is going to be, the impact's going to be felt. Frankie Collins offensively, can talk about his efficiency here and there or lack of efficiency. It's all warranted. But what Frankie Collins does defensively for this team is really important. I don't think they win the Western Kentucky game without 6 steals from Frankie Collins. 9 assists. He had a 9-assist, 6-steal game against Western Kentucky. That's a lot of production, just, outside of 3-point shooting or efficient offense. He does a lot for this team. He's got a defensive rebounding rate of 18.7% for a 6'1" guard. That's ridiculous. Like you said, his top player comp right now is Lamont Butler. You're going to miss that absence. That's going to be felt 100%.
Yeah. All right. By the way, Mother Carol had a prediction earlier. JQ, SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Could be. Ruben is the guy right now, like we said on Friday. I think he's the clear number 1 at this moment, but SEC play, different beast for everyone. So we'll see what we we get out of that. Quickly, let me just run through the schedule for tonight. I mentioned I would. All right. Dartmouth at Florida. Florida 36.5-point favorite. New Haven at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt 39.5-point favorite. Long Island at Georgia. Georgia 30.5-point favorite. Alabama State at Mississippi State. Mississippi State 19.5-point favorite. Yale at Alabama. Alabama 16.5-point favorite.
Ooh,
No, Big Baller Brett's brought up LeBaron Philon potential. I have no idea. No insight on that. I have no clue. James Madison at Arkansas. Arkansas 23.5-point favorite. Alcorn State at Ole Miss 28.5-point favorite for the Rebels. Southern Miss at LSU. LSU 20.5-point favorite. Prairie View A&M at Texas A&M. A&M, Texas A&M that is, 30.5-point favorite. The Delta Devils, Mississippi State, they're back at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a 44.5-point favorite.
Close
and
one.
the Queens, not in New York, at Auburn. Auburn is a 24.5-point favorite. There's your slate for tonight. Who loses? Somebody's losing tonight, right? Got to.
Stop.
We can't be that optimistic heading into Saturday. Somebody's getting beat tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's going to be at least 2 teams losing at halftime.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be worried about like 2 or 3 teams. Vanderbilt probably trails by 5 at the half against New Haven. And we're just total meltdown mode.
Jeez.
Yale's up 10 on Alabama without Philon. I don't know. Like, we're just... I think it's okay.
This is just a get out unscathed night. Just...
What if at FanDuel you did a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We did an 11-team SEC winner parlay. What do you think that would hit at? Probably wouldn't be great odds.
Probably not great, no. I don't even know if they would offer an odd for, or a line, not an odd, a line for anything over a 25-point favorite. I mean, what are you going to, minus $1 million?
Yeah, I don't think so. Don't know if that would happen. So, all right. As we said, there's your slate for tonight. Big Gator EJ asked earlier, anyone getting wild on New Year's Eve? We are, because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff here at Southeastern 16 probably. So, there you have it. Sean says you win $250 on $100. Maybe worth it. I would not. I wouldn't do it. No chance. Be a little worried
Florida
about that.
is minus 8,000. So, if you want to put $80 down and win a nice single, a good old fashioned single.
You get to touch it, put it right there in your hand. Oh man, incredible. So,
there you go.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, and there are games tomorrow too, by the way. But all right, before we hop off, reminder: we are doing our SEC basketball predictions live for members this season.
Yes.
MVPs and legends. You have to be on the MVP or the legends tier to join in. You can sit in live, interact as we're doing our predictions. Then we will put out those game-by-game predictions in regular videos like we've been doing since we started Southeastern 16. You'll still get the normal videos. Here's your prediction video for this game, for that game, all that. But if you want to sit in and interact with us as we do our predictions live before we release them to the public, you can do that by becoming an MVP or a legend. Dropping the link in the chat right now. Remember, you have to be at the MVP or legends tier to sit in live as we record our predictions for all of our SEC games this upcoming season. All right.
And we'll be keeping a record. We'll be keeping a record for
we'll keep our records
SEC play
on that. Super chat streak is still live. I almost forgot about that. $5 super chat from Big Gator EJ. Thoughts on colleges recruiting NBA players' availability? You know our thoughts on this, Big Gator EJ. Absurd. Absolute absurdity. Whatever. It's terrible. It's going to ruin the game, but we'll see how far it gets.
Off the rails. We've gone off the rails. Speaking of off the rails, that's exactly what Blake and I will be doing in our game 1 of taking Kentucky to a national championship. Blake Barr, coach of our NCAA 2K8 dynasty,
It'll be back.
will be returning after a little holiday hiatus, Blake.
Yes. We'll be back on that. We'll be pulling all the strings, trying to increase our net rankings, all that good stuff since that existed in 2008. For sure. All right. We appreciate you guys. Thanks as always. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on your way out. Turn on your notifications. Lots of stuff this week here at the channel. No, it's another holiday, but we got a lot of stuff on the way. So, all right. Thanks as always for watching. We'll talk to you soon here at Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.